Regina, we have to talk to you.
Is butter a carb?
Yes. Gina, you're wearing sweatpants. It's Monday.
So?
So that's against the rules, and you can't sit with us.
Whatever. Those rules aren't real.
They were real that day I wore a vest.
Because that vest was disgusting.
You can't sit with us!
That's a scene from Mean Girls, the movie that brought bullying to the big screen. But the reality is not so funny. Bullying seems to be making headlines more and more, most recently with the viral video of kids tormenting sweet Karen Klein, the 68-year-old bus monitor. Remember this one? Until she was in tears.
So how can you make sure your kid isn't the one doing the bullying? And how do you teach your child to stand up to the tough guys or the tough girls? Jennifer Hartstein is a parenting and adolescent therapist. And Kelly Wallace is the chief correspondent for iVillage. Chief, nice.
Yeah, nice to be the chief.
Title.
Yeah, I mean, two things bothered us very much the first time we saw it. Number one, that these children were bullying this very sweet, innocent, vulnerable lady that broke your heart. Number two, no other children seem to stand up to the bullies and do the right thing and make them stop. What are we to make of all of this?
Well, that's a big question. I'm a parent. I have two little girls, 6 and 4.5, and a lot of moms at iVillage have been talking about this, about what can we do? And one of the things is teaching empathy, right?
Yes.
So you can even use this as a teachable moment. Show your kids, if they're old enough to see it and deal with it, and say, how would you feel if you were in that situation?
Or that was your grandma.
Or that was your grandmother.
Right.
What would you do? And in a way, once you switch the roles and the kids see what it would feel like to be in that situation, it gives them a little bit more confidence, I think, to stand up.
You wonder about why some kids are bullies in the first place. Sometimes they come from parents who are bullies, and we've seen that. Sometimes it's something they've been bullied themselves.
So did they learn it someplace?
Yes.
Well, those are two really important reasons, right? They might have it modeled for them so that the people and adults in their lives are bullies, so then they think that that's normal behavior. They might have been bullied, so then they turn it around.
Yeah.
Maybe they have some really low self-esteem, so they join in, which is seemingly what might have happened on this bus, to feel like they're part of the in crowd and they're popular. Or maybe there's something going on at home that no one really knows about, and that's
And you don't want
causing
to
them
judge
to
till you know
act out.
some details. But what about the kids who don't say a word?
Yep.
There's an age-old thing called the bystander effect. They kind of are waiting for someone else maybe to step in, and that could be part of it. The other part of it we have to consider is these are 4 kids bullying somebody. Am I going to be the dissenter, and are they going to turn on me?
Right.
And how am I going to feel about that? And there's a real fear in that in kids, especially 12, 13, 14-year-olds.
But should you, if your kid gets bullied, pretend, Kelly, and he comes home and he says, or she says to you, Mom, this happened, a lot of parents will say, you stand up to that person. You don't let that person push you around. You push them back or something like that. Is that a good technique, bad technique?
You know, it's so funny because I took out this book, The Berenstain Bears and the Bully, thinking in a way this could be a good discussion piece, right?
Yeah.
But one of the messages in there is the sister bear, when she gets bullied, she's learning to box so that she can beat up the bully. And that's not quite what we want.
Though?
Well, I mean, I think we want confidence in our kids. Certainly for my girls, I want confidence.
Violence is not the answer.
It is not the answer. I want them to use their words, express your emotions, reach out to a grown-up, talk to other people, use some of those resources around them, because violence is not the answer.
Is it true that most bullies are really cowards? That if somebody stands up to them, they will
There's
actually back off?
Right.
There's often this mask. I'm putting on a mask to show you that I'm so tough. There's been research out that says the popular kids that are the bullies continue to be bullied so that they stay popular. There's this myth of wanting to do that. So yes, if you can stand up, and even if it's not with violence, even if it's being able to say, I am not going to accept that you treat me this way.
Right. Yeah.
And this is not okay to me.
Right.
So
and I think if parents can teach that, that'd be really helpful.
And one of our moms also talked about, she talks to our kids about the bullied and what the victim feels like, but also about the bully. I thought this was so interesting. She tries to teach her kids compassion for the bully, that something's clearly going on in that child.
I had
to
taught
reach out
Cody
and,
that
and
years
taught other kids that way.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry. I taught him years ago about that. And then I heard him talking to actually Christine's little her nephew one time, and he goes, "Codes, why do you think that kid does those bad things?" And I heard Cody say what I had said to Cody, which is, maybe he doesn't have a mommy and a daddy who love him.
Yeah.
And I just thought, whoa, he was listening. Wow.
Well, I think that's
you.
the key. They're always listening. And so
Yeah.
we want to give those messages to them that are clear.
Thanks,
Thanks
ladies.
so much.
Thanks for coming to see
Great
us.
to see you.
So what do you guys think about this? What are some things that'll be successful for you guys, and any comments? Anything you want to throw in here? What do you guys see as far as bullying goes in your scope of practice with whatever you do? What's some more common themes? Oh, okay. Did you guys hear that? Okay. The bully never gets sent to counseling. It's always the one that gets bullied that gets sent. Okay. Which is good too, but right. Okay. What you see. All right. What else do you guys see? What have you seen?
I have a question. Sure. You were talking early on about how some kids are just kind of mean, but that's not really bullying. So what is the line there? I mean, because you...
Let me rephrase. I think sometimes kids do mean things, but aren't bullies. They just, because you see kids getting into a fight on the playground, and it's not habitual. It's not really malicious. They're just impulsive kids. I think we have to be really aware of what that difference is, and I think it's when you introduce the malice piece, the repetitive, the systemic, the sneaky, the malicious piece of it is where you've got a bully, as opposed to two little kids that just got into a fight.
But doesn't it start there? I mean,
It could. But then that's when you start looking for a pattern, right? If you've got the kid who gets into fights weekly and it's always like you're the target this week and you're the target next week and you're the target the week after that, that's the stuff that you have to watch. And especially if they don't respond to, I would say, if they don't respond to, hey, you can't do this, and it continues on, then you've got more of a problem. What were you saying?
I was just saying, making sure that kids understand what bullying is. We work with the elementary kids, they might say, she bullies me, but really, I want to play with something, I want to play with you, you want to play with her. And so now I feel like I'm being bullied. So sometimes parents come to the school and they're like, well, my child's being bullied. And it's like, well, let's have those conversations and really define what that behavior is.
Absolutely. Because, bullying is a key word right now. Right? We're becoming more aware of it, and we should, absolutely. But we do have to have a better definition and a clear definition of what's the difference between, I don't want to play with you, I'm not bullying you, I just don't want to play with you today, I like her better, and I'm never going to play with you, and I'm taking my whole group, and I'm going to make them not play with you too. Because kids are kids. They do mean stuff sometimes. Mine hit on each other because they're kids. Little kids are going to get into fights. Little kids are going to steal other people's toys and run away, right? Little kids are going to throw things. It's the sneakiness of it almost that's the difference with bullying. Because you can kind of see, it's the same way like I talked about that little boy, right? He's probably 4. And the first time when I said, it's not a baby toy, it's just a truck, what would most kids do? Stop. But for him to sing-song it over and over again a couple more times, like with a parent looking at him and him just making eye contact with me, right? Don't make me come over that gate, little boy. I'm just kidding. But that had a different feel to me than others. The bathing suit example I gave, right? Who at 4.5 knows enough to say, your bathing suit's ugly?
They do that. They'll say, you're fat, you're ugly, you're dumb. And they're honest. If they believe that, they hear that, they say,
That's, okay. It's true. They do say, you're right, and I think you have to look at, my oldest, right, no filter. And he was about probably a year ago. So we're walking out of the preschool, and there was a big man coming in. He big, right? And a belly that hung over his pants. My son goes, well, hi, big belly. And I went, and they're in the same class. I have to see this man all the time, and I just went, sorry, hey, yeah, sorry. Yes, they do stuff like that. But is it that the kids say everything, or the repeated, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat, day after day after day? That's the difference. Kids do impulsive stuff. It's the repetitive pattern. It's the malice. That's the difference, I think. What's that? Yeah. What's the intent there? Because kids say and do stuff. They have no frontal lobes, so they say and do stuff, and you're just like, oh God, yeah. When my daughter was really young, we were in Starbucks. Every parent has these parent moments, right? We were in Starbucks, and there was a woman in there who probably did some sort of I'm going to say construction, or I think she had on work jeans and a CPS shirt. It was like that. So like a boxy blue man-cut shirt and work boots and a thick belt, really short hair. My daughter goes, is that a man or a woman? Or boy or girl? Is that a boy or girl? And I was just like, but Mom, is it a boy or girl? Where's my coffee?
Yeah.
So that's a kid. That's a kid.
I think
think sometimes too, it's just an observation that a child is making, and it's how the adults around them respond to it that becomes whether or not they perpetuate the issue or perpetuate it. Because yeah, there's fat people, there's skinny people, there's, you know, different colors of people, different kinds of people. So I think it really depends on how we perpetuate it, or you know.
And that's tough, right? I mean, that's tough to figure out how to navigate that in kid world.
Well, and how the people you work with and how to teach them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, other thoughts as far as what do you guys see? What are some of the kind of bullying stuff that you guys deal with?
I I work in a campus that's like close to Lackland, so I've got a really low SES and really rough crowd of kids who have to mature and grow up faster, I think, than other kids that do. And one of the things that surprised me was not that I saw cyberbullying. I had a little girl who was mentally ill and just made a bunch of bad choices. And one of her things is that she tried to commit suicide at one point by taking a bunch of ibuprofen. The other kids at school found out about it, and the cyberbullying were things like, you might as well kill yourself, we all know you want to. She stopped coming to school, so I went to her house to find out what was going on, and I saw that bitch and whore had been written on her door jamb of her apartment house. And so what shocked me, though, is that she was in 6th grade. We're not talking about college students. We're not talking about people who were in high school or sexually active. I was talking about a 6th grader.
Yeah.
So the idea that it starts so much younger was what shocked me more than the severity of it. Because, I mean, like you said, once they're at the computers, they don't think the kids are bracing. They just sort of, they're striking as hard as they possibly can and being as outrageous as they possibly can. And they don't realize, you know, how hurtful that is.
Absolutely. When you saw that the case of Amanda Todd, it started when she was 12. So 6th grade, right? It could start really young like that. And I mean, just all of you that are parents, the thought of like me having a 6th grader who like send a picture of her boobs to some little boy, it's horrifying.
Right?
To someone, cool. Yeah, to someone.
To someone. In this case, it was a little boy, but it could be a predator. Yeah, it could be a child molester. Absolutely. You watch some of those, Google them. I mean, the stuff that happens online, right? Where a couple of those parents, I don't even remember. It's been recent, where they set up, their kids were in contact with somebody online and the parents knew, and they set it up. And so when the kids showed up, the parents got all over them because they're like, look, you're here to meet this adult man. I mean, it was an experiment on how frequently that can happen. So it's just something to really be aware of. And we just have to be much more aware of the dangers of online stuff, especially with our kids, and just how much this happens and we may not even be aware of it. Because it can happen in so many places that we may never see on their phones, you know? Okay, any other thoughts or questions right now?
I work at the elementary level, and like you were talking about, like having an anti-bullying type of organization. And so I know we put on like different assemblies and stuff for them. And it's interesting to see that the older kids are becoming more self-aware. Like I had a new 5th grader come into my room, and I'm like, what are your goals for this year? And he's like, I want to stop bullying. So he's like even more aware, like, I'm a bully, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I want to change these habits. And so I just think, yeah, that's a positive side of having those types of organizations inside of the school.
Absolutely, it works. And it doesn't take much, right? It doesn't take a whole lot of resources for it to work. We just have to talk about it too.
The hardest, coming as an administrator from a campus, the hardest part is to educate the parent of the bully. Because not my son, not my daughter. You know, they don't want to see it. They're in denial. And that's the hardest part that I came across.
Well, and true. And guess where that kid probably learned it? From the person that's denying that their kid's a bully. Unfortunately. So I don't know quite yet how to fix that, but maybe like educating that child, at least if they recognize, wait, I don't want to do this, I can't do this. You're not going to catch all of them, right? But if we catch even a few of them, we made a difference with that too. Yeah, but it's tough. It's a tough topic. It's scary having kids.
What are a few recommendations that you recommend about having a child prevent bullying? Like, what are some things that the kids can do?
Well, teach your kids to recognize it, right? What I do is teach I can just tell you what I do, okay? I don't know what's gonna work. Mine's an experiment right now too, okay? So, but I tell her, if you've got somebody mean, just stay away from them, you don't join in. Like I've told her before, I better never hear you're the mean girl, or I say you're gonna get it when you get home. I don't know what that means, but she's gonna get it. And teach her to befriend the people that others are mean to. She got a card last year, so there was like a proud parent moment. I've got it saved still, where a little girl apparently was having trouble reading. She's really, and I can brag on her because biologically it's not me, she's really a great reader. So in 2nd grade, she's reading at a 5th grade level. Now in 3rd grade, that kind of thing. She was helping a little girl that other people were making fun of because she reads faster, so then she helps the other kids, right? You guys know how that works. Apparently somebody was being mean, and I said, what did you do? And she said, I was her friend. She got a card from this little girl that said, thank you for being my friend, and it was something else that was put in there too. And I said, what did you do? And she said, well, I just sat with her. You know, I helped her read when other people made fun of her. And I'm like, that's the kind of stuff that we need to teach them to teach. Remember what they said, teach them empathy? Teach them empathy for people that are not like them, and teach them to stay away from the mean ones. Because you know what? If you isolate the bully, and I'm not saying that's bullying them, I'm saying just not feeding into it. Just don't feed into it. Don't purposefully separate them from the group, but just say, hey, you're being mean, and I don't want any part of that.
And statistics have shown, I think it's 50% of bullying stops when a peer stands up and says something. Yeah. So just to remember to teach your kids to stand up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And teach your kids, if they see it going on, to cut in and go, cut that out, or don't be mean. That's hard. I get that. It's hard for kids to do that, but it works.
I didn't understand the part where it says, like, for the girl to say something like, I'm not going to accept that behavior from you. Like her standing up to a bully. I don't see how that's going to stop it because bullies can start taunting.
Oh, sure. And I changed that. I think I changed that slide, okay. Yeah. because I think that's hard for people to do. But I think you can teach them to not keep themselves in that situation and not feed into it and show empathy for other people. Now, I am not making light of this, but I'm going to show a funny, very irreverent movie clip at the end. And you know, it's really just like, there's good reasons why we don't want to be a bully, okay?
Hello?
Hi, is this Danny McGrath? The Danny McGrath that graduated from Nib High School in 1984?
Yeah. Who's this?
This is Billy Madison. You probably don't remember me, but I went to high school with you. I kind of gave you a hard time back then, and I did some things that I thought were funny at the time, but now I realize they were just mean and stupid, and just wanted to apologize, and I hope you forgive me.
Yeah, sure. Don't worry about it. It's no problem.
Wow, well, that's great. Well, I am sorry, and maybe we can get together sometime and have some coffee or something.
Sure, I'd like that.
Okay, well, I'll see you around.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.